Good morning, I'm Chef Peter Ayab and welcome to my kitchen at Sense of Taste Chef School. Today what we're going to be making is a pilaf with peas, carrots and a little bit of herbs. It's a very simple dish, one of my favorites, and we're going to start. I'm going to give you the ingredients first. So we have 275 grams of basmati rice that's been rinsed several times and then left in ice cold water to sit. We've got 60 mils of canola oil. We've got 200 grams of frozen peas, 2 small carrots that have been washed, peeled and grated, and 1 small onion, finely diced, or half an onion if it's too big. Okay, we're going to get this going. We've got some cumin, cardamom, 2 cloves, about 8 black peppercorn, and we're going to give that a little grind. But before we do that, we're going to be serving this pilaf with roasted thigh of chicken. So all we're going to do is we're going to be a little bit chefy and we're going to take the bone out. So on either side of the bone, give it a little slit, then take your knife underneath it, use your paring knife or your deboning knife for something as delicate as this. Okay, that's the one. Let's do the other one. The recipe that we are doing today should serve 4. So what I recommend is that you do at least 2 chicken thighs per person, and it should be a great meal. Okay, so we've taken out the bones of the thighs. We're now going to truss it. So we're first going to take a little bit of salt and pepper onto the inside of it, a little bit of pepper, a little bit of salt, and we're going to truss it with some string. We're just going to hold its shape with some string. So we're going to take 1 piece on top, just tie a knot, you cut it off later, and then 1 strip at the bottom. Okay, so now we have the thighs that have been trussed, skin on the outside. We're going to take a little bit more season the skin, and we're going to put a little pan onto the stove. I'm going to set it quite high. I want to give it some nice color onto the chicken thighs. So I'm going to do that about 4 on my induction heater. A little bit of canola oil. Always better to use canola oil when you are giving something some high heat and some color. Just give that a few seconds, and as soon as that's ready, we're going to pop that in. Okay, remember when working with chicken, sanitize, keep your hands clean, don't use other knives or anything that's going to go onto something else. So please guys, be careful. Remember, chicken is one of those foods that definitely contain a bacteria that you need to control, and the thing that kills it is definitely heat. So please do not cross-contaminate when you're doing this dish. Right, pan's hot enough. We're going to take our chicken thigh. You can hear that sizzle. We're going to put it skin side down. We've seasoned it nicely. While that's going on, we're going to take all our dry ingredients and we're going to pound it a little bit, just to bruise it, to give it those beautiful flavors, release those flavors. Okay, so that's on the heat. We're going to take our rice and strain it, get all that ice cold water off. Remember, we're using basmati rice, very important for this pilaf. Okay, give your chicken a little shake just so it doesn't stick. Okay, we can take that out of the shot, we don't need that water. Okay, so now while that's happening, I'm going to take my chicken stock and I'm going to pop it into the microwave to warm up. Give it about 1.5 minutes in my microwave. Let's have a look at the chicken. So a bit more color to be given. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to just paste the garlic. I've sliced it nice and thinly. We're now going to take it and Add some salt to it so that it holds together. And use the back of your knife and taste it. Very clever tip is using the salt to stop the garlic from running all over the place. And taste it some more. We want it beautifully and fine. There we go. Cool. Chicken should be good on the side. Let's turn it. Okay, we're going to give it about a minute like that. And then I'm going to take it and put it into the oven. 190 for probably about 15 minutes. Okay, let's start with the pilaf rice. So we're going to take our pot. We're going to add our canola oil, which was the 60 ml, 2 tablespoons. Let that heat up ever so slightly. Remember the stock's in the microwave getting warm. We have all our beautiful spices and together. We're going to throw all the mixed herbs together. Casia bark is very similar to cinnamon sticks. It's a lot cheaper and a lot easier to find than cinnamon sticks are. Okay, so we're going to give that a nice little go. You can smell all those beautiful, the cumin and the cardamom and the casia bark. It's all going wild. Okay, then what I'm going to do firstly is I'm going to throw in my rice. Give it a little stir. So we're going to dry cook this rice just to give it that beautiful flavor. Let the oil soak into the granules, all those beautiful herbs and spices. Okay, let's see how my stock's doing. Vegetable stock I'm using today, you can choose to use chicken stock, anything you want. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is throw in my onions with my rice granules. Give it a nice stir, don't let it stick to the bottom. If you feel it sticking, give it a little bit of stock just to release it. Release all those flavors. Going to soften the onions a bit. Grated carrots I'm going to throw in as well. Mix that in. Right, now we all stirred together. We're going to add the frozen peas. It's going to sweeten up the dish. It's going to give it some beautiful color. I love peas. I think they're one of my favorite veg. Okay, I've given the pilaf a nice stir. We're now going to add the hot stock to it. Make sure it's enough that just covers the rice, probably about 1 finger over it. Okay. We're going to let that cook away, let that sauce absorb. I'm going to put a lid on for now and just keep it going. I've got it on 4. Once it comes to the boil, I'm going to drop it right down to 1 and I'm going to let it slowly cook. Okay, so this has been on for about 5 to 7 minutes. Come to the boil. I'm going to take off the lid. And what we're going to do is we're going to drop it down a little bit in heat. So I'm dropping it down to 2. I'm going to give it a nice stir. You can see the rice. You can still see there's some liquid in here. So So what we're going to do, we're taking the lid off so that the excess liquid can actually evaporate. So we've got all that going. You've got to love the smell. It's exceptional. It really is. And lastly, before it's ready, we're going to throw in the mashed garlic. Remember, garlic doesn't like to be cooked for too long, so we're just going to spread it around, give it a nice stir so it has a beautiful garlic flavor. And please don't use garlic powder, use the proper stuff, yeah? Fresh garlic. Okay, so now this has probably been going for about 10 minutes. Every 5 minutes or so I've given it a little stir. So I'm going to take off the lid for a second. We're going to give it one last stir. And then we are going to take a dry dishcloth. We're going to pop it over and put the lid back on. And what that's going to allow, we're going to take it off the heat and that's going to steam. So what the cloth does, it actually takes the excess moisture into the cloth without actually falling back into the rice. So you're going to have some beautiful fluffy white rice. Okay, my chicken thighs have been in the oven for about 15 minutes. We are going to take it out. Please remember to use a cloth because you are going to burn yourself. The rice has been sitting for about 10 minutes. We're going to take the lid off. You can see how it's still steaming hot. We are going to dish out now. So firstly what we're going to do is we're going to take our knife and just cut off the trussing. Please remember to cut it off. And pull it right out. You don't want to serve it with it. Go. Two beautiful chicken thighs. Just give my hands a wipe. Okay, let's start dishing up. So we're going to give ourselves a nice portion of the pilaf. So okay, I'm going to try and keep it nice and clean. We're going to take our 2 chicken thighs, we're going to pop it on top of that, and we're going to firstly season it with some salt and pepper. Okay, we're going to take some good quality olive oil. I'm using Don Carlo, which is for me one of my rock stars. Give some beautiful olive oil over that, and some nice garnish just to let your friends and family really appreciate your dish. Okay. And voila.